Yo, what's up guys? This is Norm from Daily Fantasy Archive. And if you guys are new to the channel, first time you guys seen these videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button under the video if you enjoyed the video and like the great advice I give out daily. And make sure you hit this notification bell button so you'll be notified every time I upload. Also follow us on Twitter at DFS_archive so you'll never miss when I upload a video. I also tweet it out if you're not on YouTube at the time. And I also give out some other free lineups for DraftKings and some other sports like basketball each night. Okay, let's get right into it. Last night was a pretty rough night. We had a donut, Ag from Hansen. He had 0 points, and TG Oshie was both of these guys were awful last night. Despite that, I made a lineup for you guys last night. I posted. Some of you guys asked for it, and I was out by 0.10 in GPP, but most of you guys tweeted at me and told me that you guys wanted this lineup and hit 32.80 on DraftKings, but the FanDuel lineups were not good yesterday. Just a rough night in general. But let's get back into the slate for today. Let's have a good bounce back day today. The goal that I'm going to be looking at tonight is Tuukka Rask is the first goal that I'm going to be targeting. He is Boston is 17, 12, and 8 on the road, and Vancouver is an awful team. They're only 18, 11, 6 on home ice. In the 5-goal total and the highest Vegas odds to win tonight, there's not very many goals going to be going down in this game, so it should be pretty set for Boston to win and him not to get scored on a lot or get a lot of opportunities to get scored on. Boston is better than Vancouver in every category. Besides discipline and goaltending, and Boston is 6-0 in the last 6 versus a team with a losing record, and Vancouver is 0-6 in their last 6 games at home ice. As you can see, the odds are negative 220 to highest Vegas odds to win tonight. And Rask is 7-3 in his last 10 games. He's been playing really good, and if you check his last 2 games, he was on fire the last 2 games, and he plays a lot better on the road than he does on home ice. So he's definitely locked for cash or GPP tonight. He's going to be very high owned, playing an awful Vancouver team. Another goalie that I would look at would be Sergei Bobrovsky. Vegas odds says Columbus will win tonight. He costs 8.9K. He's 100 less than Rask. It's up to you if you want to spend up the extra 100. And Columbus is 18, 9, and 5 on the road. And Philly is 19, 10, and 4 on home ice. They're a really awful team. Columbus is better than Philly in every category. Besides face-offs. Vegas odds has them at winning at negative 125 tonight. Very high odds at 5.5 game total. Columbus is 7-1 in the last 8 meetings in Philly. And Bobrovsky is 7-2 in his last 10 games. And he's been playing very good if you check out his last few games in his game logs. And he has 3 shutouts in the last 10 games. And he's playing his old team in Philly that he used to play where he started off his career. So it could be a bit of a backstory. He could want to play really good tonight. And then could make him play a lot better. And Philly is also the 22nd ranked offense, who has scored 2 or less goals in 6 of the last 8 games, so they're playing awful. Another good GPP play for goalie, if you don't want to lock in either one of those, would be Pekka Rinne. High Vegas odds for those guys to win tonight. There's going to be lots of good players on Nashville tonight to pick from. Negative 175, very high odds, and a 6-goal game total, so it could get a bit scary. Could be a lot of goals going both ways, but he could have some high upside for GPP. He's gone 4-2-2 in his last 10 games, and he plays way better on home ice, and he had 25 points last time he played them. And Nashville is 19, 8, and 7 on home ice, and the Jets are only 14, 15, and 5 on the road. Very awful team. Nashville is better in every category besides offense, and the Jets are 3 and 8 in their last 11 in Nashville. So some high upside for him. Good chance for him to win tonight in the GPP to lock him in. Another player that I'm going to be looking at and I'm going to be locking in is John Tavares. You're definitely going to want to have a look at John Tavares. New York Islanders are big Vegas odds to win tonight. They're 28 and 6 on home ice, and Carolina is just 8, 17 and 8 on the road. They're awful. The worst team besides Vancouver on the slate tonight. He's on the first line power play. He's in a 5.5 total game where the over has gone over 25 of the last 34 meetings, so I can see a lot of goals in this game. He has 10 points in his last 10 games, and he has 33 points in 34 home games, so he's almost at a point a game. And 2 goals in his last 2 games against Carolina with very high upside, as I said before. And he plays 20 minutes a game, so lots of chances for shots and block shots and goals and assists tonight for him. Another center that I'm going to be locking in is Braden Point. He plays on a first line power play. Had not a very good game last few games. Not a good game last game he played, but I can see him having some high upside with New York Rangers having their backup going in net tonight. Lundqvist is not in net, and he's on a first line power play, so he has the high upside if you don't want to pay up for Kucherov, which you're going to want exposure to tonight, any night. He's been insane in this 2017, since the All-Star break. He's been on fire, so you're going to want exposure to Kucherov and that power play and Tampa Bay, because they've been on fire. Winger that I'm going to be looking at tonight, I'll tell you guys two other centers that I'll be looking at, and I'll give you three value plays. Crosby, I would also look at tonight. He has 37 points in 33 road games, and he has 8 points in his last 10 games. He fired up. He got caught on fire the last 2 games, and he's played Calgary last time he had an assist. He's on the first line power play. He also has 43 shots in his last 10 games, so he has a very high cash floor. So even if he doesn't score, he usually gets a lot of points because he's been on fire taking a lot of shots, and he takes more shots than Malcolm. He almost takes double the amount of shots Malcolm has at the exact same price, so I think that Crosby should be in better line tonight, as he is on the first line also. And also Vegas odds had the Pens winning tonight, as you can see. It's messed up right here, but they are 110 to win tonight. And the Pens are 9-3 in their last 12 meetings with Calgary. Another center that I would look at would be Victor Rask. If you want to lock him in, if you don't want to take any one of these players, he's another good player for the player pool tonight. Costs 4.3K. He doesn't cost very much. He has 7 points in his last 10. New York Islanders are favorites to win Vegas, but like I said, Carolina is way better on offense than the Islanders. He's on a second line power play. The Islanders are only ranked 18th on defense and have given up 26 goals in their last 7 games, and Carolina's 5-2 in their last 7 meetings between the two teams. Also, the Islanders are giving up 10.1 shots a game to centers and 1.7 assists a game to centers, so it's a good spot for Rask to get some high upside. He's been on fire lately. He doesn't cost very much. It's a nice value type of punt play tonight. I could see him getting a goal, if not a goal and assist tonight. Should be lots of goals in this game. Like I said, the over has gone over a lot in this. A few other good value players I'm not going to talk much about. I'm going to tell you about them is Nick Bodino and Kelly Yancroc will be 2 players that you could also look at tonight for center. 2 players that are in very good matchups and could have some high upside tonight. They're pretty much punt plays. Bodino has been on fire lately. And the wingers that I'll be looking at tonight, the first one is Anders Lee. Again, I'm going back to this Islanders game. Lots of goals in this game. I think the total is going to be over. It's going to be a crazy game. I've had much success taking this full first line on the Islanders, and should do again tonight. He's on the first line power play. Like I said, if you don't want to pay up for Tavares, he's a lot cheaper option. It only costs $5,000, but you're going to want exposure to his first line, John Tavares and Josh Bailey. In his last 2 games against Carolina, he has 4 points. And he plays a lot better on home ice. And right now he's averaging 17.11 points in the last 18 games on home ice. So he's very consistent. And like I said, crazy high upside. Really high upside. He's won me a lot of big money lately, this line. So you're definitely going to want to look at those guys. Another winger that I'll be locking in is Philip Forsberg. The Jets are poor on defense. High total at 6.6 goals tonight. Negative 175 on home ice for the Jets. Jets are awful on defense and awful goaltending. They've given up the 4th most goals per game. Winnipeg also takes a lot of penalties. And the 2nd most penalty minutes per minor penalty minutes. And they're the 26th ranked penalty kill, so they're awful on killing penalties. And Philip plays on the first line power play. You're going to want exposure to this game, as I'm going to talk about some other plays later on during the video. Hughes shares the win, and Forsberg has 15 points in the last 10 games, and he plays a lot better on home ice, and his splits compared to his away games. So, another player that you want to take a look at is Connor Sherry. Costs 5.8K. If you don't want to pay out for Crosby, like I was talking about earlier in the video, or Malkin, you're going to want a bit of exposure to this game. He costs a lot less than both of those players, and he's playing on the first line and the second line power play. He's in a very favorable matchup and a 6-goal game total, and he has 10 points in his last 9 games and has some very high upside. And another player that I would also focus on tonight to take a look at, see if you can fit him into your lineups or maybe change around the line that I'm making. You don't really need to use this. This is just a lineup that I will be using tonight. But what my goal is to make a player pool so you guys can have a lot of players to look between, like I say, each night and choose between what you want to make. You can make your own line then. He costs 7.1k. Boston's the biggest favorites to win tonight from Vegas. He has 10 points in his last 10 games. And he had a goal the last time he played Vancouver. And he's on the second line of first line power play. And Vancouver's giving up 7 shots a game to left wings. And he's averaging 19.04 in his last 14 big favorite games. Which this is one tonight. Big favorites to win. So he should have some high upside tonight. If not, really go off tonight. Another winger that you can look at for some value tonight would be Jake Gunutzel, Colin Wilson, and Brendan Perlin. I'm not going to talk much about them, but you guys all know they're in a favorable matchup tonight. They could all go off. Really high upside tonight. And I also said earlier in the video I was going to be taking the first line on New York Islanders, and Josh Bailey completes that stack. He's on the first line. I'm going to want a lot of these, excuse the language, a lot of assets from the first line on the Islanders tonight. And he has 12 points, I think, in his last 10 games. He's playing better than Anders Lee right now, but you're definitely going to want at least one of these guys in your lineup, if not 3 of them. But you're going to want one of these guys from the first line because there's very high upside. On defense, I'm going to be taking Roman Josi. I'm going to be looking at him tonight. Got 6.3k, high Vegas odds to win in 6-goal game total. He's on home ice where he plays much better. He has 11 points in his last 10 games, and he had 2 assists in the last 2 games against Winnipeg. And he's on the first line power play. As you can see, they're high Vegas odds, -175. And he's averaging 22.67 in his last 7 big favorite games, and the Jets are giving up 1.6 assists a game to defensemen, so he should have some crazy high upside tonight and should be almost a lock for cash and GPP tonight. After paying up for a lot of those players, I'm going to be going to more of a cheap player that has been on fire lately. David Savary costs 3.8k. He's playing Philly. He's a really good cheap punt play. He plays 21 minutes a game plus. He has 7 points in his last 10 games, and he's playing on the second line defense. And he had a goal last time he played Philly, and Columbus are big favorites to win tonight in a 5.5 total game. He should easily hit value and have some high upside as he's been on fire lately. Some other defense that I would take a look at tonight would be Victor Hedman. He's on the first line power play. And in a 5.5 game total, has 11 points in his last 10 games, and had a point per game, and has almost had a point per game this season, so you know he's playing really well. He has 7 double-digit point games in his last 8, so he's been playing on fire lately. Lundqvist is not net, like I've said before, when taking Braden Point. Some high upside in this game for the for the Lightning, and he plays the most minutes on the whole team at 24 minutes a game. Some other value plays that we look at on defense would be Nick Leddy and Ekman Larsson would be another 2 players that are in favorable matchups and should have some high upside tonight. He's playing Colorado, and like I said, Nick Leddy's playing Carolina tonight. Anyways, that's the plays tonight I'm going to be running. Make sure you guys change up a player if you feel confident in another player. That's just some players that I've listed that I may have not have taken this line. They should all do good, these players that I've listed tonight. It's a nice little player pool tonight. I'm feeling good about tonight. And make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification button so you never miss the videos. And follow us on Twitter at DFS_archive, where I will be posting later today, updating you guys on lines if anything changes, or some other free lineups on DraftKings and FanDuel. Have a good day, guys. Good luck.